Hey, what's going on, guys? I know you've been waiting to find out the results of the 100k Hyakushiki themed contest that I had, and so I'm sorry for the delay, but I'm here today to finally let you know who the winners are going to be. Now, just a reminder, we had 3 categories. We had beginner category, which I'll announce first, then diorama, and then advanced categories. So just to give you a breakdown of how many people ended up finishing their entries for each category. For beginner, we had a total of 36 entries. For diorama, we had a total of 7 entries, and for advanced, a total of 41 entries. So just as far as the entries go, it was a little bit less, like in all the categories. It's actually a little bit less than I expected. But that said, the theme was pretty specific, being that it should have been based around a Hyakushiki or Hyakushiki variant suit, so I understand that that's also going to be a little bit limiting. And this is the first time that I've had the diorama category as a separate category, because usually there's always people asking about it when I don't have it as its own category. I just kind of have like the advanced category like as a whole, and I say you can do a diorama if you want, and usually some people are asking me specific questions about doing a diorama, so I thought this time we'll just make it a separate category. And only 7 people finished their diorama, so if you were one of the ones who did finish your diorama entry, then your chances are pretty good of being one of the winners. So maybe we won't do a separate diorama category anymore in the future, unless I know there's really going to be a lot of people who are going to want to enter that. Maybe if it's a less specific theme, then maybe there would have been more entries in the diorama category as well. I'm not sure. But let me just also remind you guys, there will be 3 winners from the beginner category, 3 winners from the diorama category, and 3 winners from the advanced category. And now special thank you to USA Gundam Store for providing some of the prizes, of course, and just for all of their support. As always, guys, if you want to shop at USA Gundam Store, the link will be down below. Please do check that out. And then as well, also thanks to Randy, Bill, and Zach, a different Zach, for also supplying some of the prizes as well. And then the rest of the prizes are just coming from me. So let me announce the winners of the beginner category. Now, again, when I was looking for this, it was just a photo contest. So I was looking for just a nice, cool photo, something dynamic, something interesting. And of course, usually what happens when I have photo contests is there's a lot of similar photos, like there'll be a lot of photos in this case, for example, photos like outside. So among like all of the photos like taken out like in people's backyards, I'll try to kind of choose like maybe the best one of those, and then there'll be like all the photos maybe taken inside with like a dark background, people usually trying to make it look like the mobile suit's like flying in space, so I'll choose like maybe the best one of those. So that was pretty much the case of what I did for these as well. And just a reminder too that each of the categories did also have a guest judge, so I got the feedback of the guest judge's picks and then my picks, and then we kind of put those together. So the guest judge for the beginner category was Adam, the owner there at USA Gundam Store. So these were our picks here for the beginner category. So first up in 3rd place here, this is from Zachary. Of these photos that were like taken against a background, I thought this was the most interesting, how he had the Lunagazer kit there paired with this specific image there kind of the eclipse. The image and the kit made sense together, so that made a cool image there of that. He also, as you can see, did also do some painting on the kit. Now that wasn't a requirement for this category, so that didn't exactly give him any necessarily particular edge, so the focus was more just on the photograph itself. So just being what it was, I thought this was one of the better ones. And then for 2nd place here, this goes to Rick, who had his Hyakushiki outdoors. So this was the best among the outdoors photos. A lot of the outdoors photos, I'll just say, people, like I said, it's very clear they just like went out in their backyard or something like that and took it. And so this one, you can see like a little bit of the house like off there in the background, but not too much. And a lot of the other photos that were entered, you have like someone's house or like deck or pool or something like right behind the kit or something. So it just kind of takes away from the realisticness of the photo. This one, with there being mostly just all the plant and vegetation life there in the background, and it kind of being set in the scene, even holding onto the tree, I thought this was the best of the outdoor picks that we had for this one. And then 1st place here goes to Vincent, who had his kneeling Delta Plus there, and for a couple reasons. The composition of the photo is nice. He has the depth of field too, with the little pilot figure down there in the foreground of it, and the photo is taken from below, so it's an angle to make the mobile suit actually look larger than just a tiny little plastic model. So just the way the photograph was taken, also just the lighting off the side there, It's also quite nice. He's got this kind of dramatic lighting a little bit. There's sundown. It looks like probably, I don't think it's sunrise, maybe sundown. They're kind of just hitting around on the edges of the suit. So it makes for a nice photograph, and so this was the choice there that I made for the first prize among the beginners category. So thank you to all of you guys who did enter in that category, and let's move on into the diorama winners. So like I said, there was only 7 finished diorama entries that I got. So again, if you enter, then your chances are almost 50-50 that you're gonna at least win something. And again, the guest judge for the diorama category that helped me out here was none other than Win I'm Wong, multiple GBWC Thailand winner and GBWC world champion as well. So thank you to Win, as always, for his support and his help in choosing some of these entries. So the third place here is going to go to Jonathan, who had this really fun diorama. This is very, I think, something that I wouldn't have been surprised if it was something that Win would have made. It's very similar to the kind of stuff that Win sometimes makes as well. So he has this cool diorama with the Hyakushiki, or yeah, that would be the Delta Plus, I'm sorry, like wired up, connected to one of the Nachin tank kits there with the little 120 scale pilot controller little boy figure from one of the Mechatro kits. So he's got a cool kind of mix. Obviously he's playing with the scale of it. This is not a gigantic robot, but just a kind of medium-sized robot, and he's playing with the scale with these different taking models and things from different series. We got some Mechatro, and the Nachin tank is just kind of on its own, and then the Gundam kit here all put together into this fun little diorama, something sort of like a classroom or a science room or something at a school. You can imagine with the chalkboard and stuff drawn on there. And it's a fun little scene for that, and it's nicely done as well. Of course, the big thing now that we're getting into the diorama and the advanced categories, I'm not only looking for cool build and creative ideas, but also execution. So you should also have a cool idea, but also execute it in a proper way so that it actually does look good. Second place then is going to go to Frank, and for his diorama, we actually looked at this pretty extensively in the episode of Gunpla Critique recently, so you can go back and check that out. I talked about this one quite a lot. But yeah, it's a really cool diorama. I thought the nature aspect of it, all the water, the mountains, the rocks, the trees, and all of that stuff looks great. I thought it could have been a little bit better in the integration of the actual mobile suits into the nature scene, but overall it looks great. And then the photography is really nice as well. He's got the background in there, so you can't really see, like, it's kind of meant to trick your eye a bit as to where the diorama ends and the actual background starts. So it's just sort of the kind of commonly used movie trick, of course, but in the old days, not so much these days where we just have CG everything. But it made for some nice photographs here of the diorama as well, and I think the diorama overall is very nicely done, so that was a really cool one as well. And then so the first place is going to go to Justin here for his diorama. Now this one, I thought the mobile suits, one of the mobile suits, like the crash mobile suit being set in the river, was nice. Just the foliage and everything around, it was made for a good scene. It looks like the mobile suits are there in the scene, and the just especially as well why I like this one is just the custom work on his kits. Now he did a lot of really nice custom work on the Hyakushiki, not just the crashed Zeta there, but just the Hyakushiki. It's got some really awesome custom work on that. Just the painting on it is really interesting and cool. This camouflage pattern is as well kind of very unique looking take on the Hyakushiki here. It's got customized weapons and everything as well. There's LEDs in the eyes and in the chest, in the cockpit of the crashed Zeta there in the river that are like flashing. So it was a really cool build, I think, really nicely done. Just his modeling work is very good, and made for a nice little cool diorama there, interesting diorama. Sort of, you can imagine the story kind of what's going on there between the two of them. So congratulations to those guys, and again thank you to congratulations to the 3 of you guys, and again thank you to those of you who did finish your dioramas as well. There was some pretty fun ones in there also. So now let's get into the advanced category winners. Now for the advanced category, there was some really cool ones, so I do want to show you a few runners-up first before we get to the winners. So here, have a look at a few of these runners-up that were some of the finalists in our choices for the winners. Alright, and then once again, the guest judge for the advanced category was a good friend and co-host over on Gunpla Talk, Joshua Dara, also the GBWC winner for Australia in the past as well. So, fantastic modeler. If you guys don't know him, you can check out his website, of course, joshuadara.com. He helped me pick the winners here for the advanced category, and here they are in third place. We have this build here from Ian. It's a really nice looking Hyakushiki. Obviously, kind of the best part about this build is all of the custom panel lining work that he did on this. So he added a whole bunch of custom panel lining on this that ended up coming out really nice. And I really like the finish of the paint as well. It's gold, but it's not like super shiny, so I'm not exactly sure how it's painted. I would guess that it's gold then just with the matte finish over the top of it is what it looks like, but that's all done really well. Like I said, so the custom scribing and everything on the custom details that he's added to it all looks good. The color is nice, interesting, and the kit overall came out looking really nice. And second place here is from Mustafa, who's using a Hyakushiki Crash, I think was his base kit, but he used the parts of the Hyakushiki Kai, I think it was, or the mass production type anyway, so he didn't build it as the Hyakushiki Crash is what it looks like, what he's done with this here. So this one, I thought it didn't have as much like custom scribing and things like that like the second place had, but this one had a lot of creativity in terms of the color scheme and the colors that he chose for it. I really appreciated just a little that level of creativity in this build. It's a very unique take on this design. Don't think, as far as I can remember anyway, I've seen the Hyakushiki or any Hyakushiki's variants done in white, but with like the green accents like that is a really unique color choice, and just the having it up on the stand is nice. It's got this custom base for it as well with the marking there, and he's got a nice presentation for this, just being set up on top of that clear rod. And so overall, as a fully finished and very nicely painted and creative build, I thought it made for a really nice finished entry. So I really like that one quite a bit. Thank you, Mustafa. And then our final grand prize winner here is going to be Mr. Yulong here with his customized HG Delta Plus. This was probably the most creative and well executed build among the bunch. So obviously he's gone for this kind of like a night theme with this. You can see there's heavy customization on there, and it's all done very well. You can see the painting on it is also quite nice. Just the execution of the entire project all came out really nice, I think, and it came out looking very good. So it's a creative idea that he pulled off really nicely. The cape parts on that are nice. Those are from the I recently did a review of those cape parts from the modeling support goods stuff for Frame Arms Girls. That's what I'm trying to think of. Couldn't think of what I was trying to say there. But yeah, really cool take on this, and the colors are really nice as well. That kind of brown and tan, or like light brown color scheme for that. It's also a neat color scheme for this. That dark red for the accents and for the cape looks really nice as well. So it was a really cool entry, and definitely I really like that one quite a bit. So you can still see there's still plenty of Hyakushiki aspects in there, but of course he's added obviously parts from the Barbatos shoulders are probably the most recognizable, but some other things in there, just other bits and pieces. But you can still see it's still very much Hyakushiki based, but he's done so much customization to it that it really does sort of take on a new life of its own there, and ends up looking really nice. So that is a wrap for the 100K Hyakushiki contest. A lot of really cool entries. So again, just thank you to everyone who took the time to enter. Those of you guys who couldn't finish your entries, just thank you for making an attempt. That's also appreciated. Anyone who just maybe was well-meaning and wanted to enter, I appreciate that either way. So that is it for this contest. As far as going forward into the future, I don't have any more contests planned at the moment, but I'm thinking maybe in February or March will be maybe the next building contest. So I'll let you guys know about that at the time. I think it will be something, again, that's not necessarily Gunpla related. So I'll think about that In the meantime, again, thank you to everyone. Thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support. Thank you to the good friends who donated kits for prizes as well. And just thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And just to wrap up the video, I will give you guys a look at all of the entries, starting with the beginner, then the diorama, and the advanced category. All of the entries in montage, you guys can see through all of those. And let me know your thoughts down below, as I'm sure you will. Thanks, guys. Bye.